Welcome to International Dispute Negotiation, your guide to resolving disputes everywhere.
This is Mike McElrath, and this podcast is about different ways of accepting and managing the risks of dispute resolution, presenting them through the eyes of experts from different countries and backgrounds. Well, Jay, here with Jay Welsh of Jams, and the first thing I have to say is we have to stop meeting up in Rome like this.
I know. This is the only place that we meet.
Yeah, here we are. By the way, we should get a plug for another mediation association in the offices of ADR Center, of all places, here in Rome. And I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk a little bit about you and Jams.
Thanks for asking.
Let me ask, what is Jams? What does it stand for?
Let me give you a kind of a 2-minute history of Jams. First of all, I'm Jay Welsh, and I'm the Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Jams, and I've been with Jams since for 16 years. And Jams was started 26 years ago by a judge in Orange County who decided that he could settle cases in a shopping center with his dog under the table just as easily as he could in the courthouse. And from that grew a company. It was then called Judicial Arbitration and Mediation Services. We have since shortened it to Jams, JMS.
Which, by the way, everybody knows it just as
Jams. And we spend a lot of money and time on the brand Jams so that people do know it worldwide as Jams. In 1989 or 90, Warburg Pincus bought the company. Investment bankers came in and felt that the whole ADR mediation concept could be like Federal Express, the privatization of a government function. But what they found was that it was harder to run over lawyers than it was mailmen. And so their concept of growing the company in volume with insurance cases, while at the same time having the reputation made by lead people at that time like Jack Trotter, Coley Fan, and Dan Weinstein, who were doing complex cases, but all the marketing dollars were being spent at the bottom, was a concept that wasn't going to make anybody happy. So in 1998, 40 of us bought the company back. We made them an offer they couldn't refuse. And we bought the company back. We operate it now as, it's for profit, but we operate it as a co-op. There are now 81 owners. We all own one share each. It has no equity value. When you die or leave, it goes away. And we operate it for the benefit of the people who are doing the work as mediators and arbitrators, and not to maximize the bottom line. All of our mediators and arbitrators are full-time. We decided that there were a couple of tenets that were going to be the cornerstone of Jams, and that we think makes us successful. One of them is everybody who is with us works exclusively with us. In other words, we manage all of their practice, all of their work from wherever they get it, and we do hundreds and hundreds of cases under AAA rules. We do ICC cases, but all of those cases are managed by Jams and managed by the neutrals case manager. So all of their work is through Jams, and all of the people with us, with one or two minor exceptions, are full-time mediators or arbitrators. We do not take lawyers who are practicing 3 days a week and trying to mediate 1 day a week. We have found it just doesn't work. So everybody with us is doing this 5 days, 6 days a week.
And you've been with the organization since its inception?
No, it was formed in '79. I joined in '91, but I joined at a point in time when we were still pretty small.
Where were you before that?
I practiced law in San Francisco. I was a business real estate lawyer. I was not a litigator. I joined as general counsel, but my role as general counsel at that time was to preach the mediation gospel to other general counsel. So it was more of a marketing role than it is now. I was the one who got Wells Fargo to adopt JAMS as the in their arbitration clause, which was the first time a national company had selected JAMS. So from that, we began to get known on a national basis. Go ahead.
And you're still the general counsel?
Yes, I've never gotten a promotion. But the role has changed. Now I'm the buck stops with me on 11,000 cases a year. Arbitrations we're a 70-30 split between mediation and arbitration. We're 70% mediation by revenue and about 30% arbitration.
Do you act as a mediator?
No,
you don't.
I mediated in the mid-90s, and I decided that really the role that I was doing as part of senior management, there are three of us at the top of JAMS, the CEO, myself, and the CFO. And it's big enough. And to compete with our people, one of the reasons why we have exclusive people is when you book somebody at JAMS for the month of November for an arbitration, nothing is going to get in the way of that because that time is booked out. If the person is a lawyer or if he was the general counsel, it's likely that there would be something to get in the way. So no, I don't mediate anymore. I sit in on mediations, I co-mediate, keep my hand in, and I do a lot of training in mediation of our new people coming in.
Are you involved in the mediator selection process or helping parties find the right mediator?
Yes, all the time. I get calls all the time. A lot of it is sub rosa. People call me and say, look, we have a big class action. We have this kind of case. We have an arbitration. I need somebody who is not scared to make a call, a tough decision. And I'm very forthright in giving them my feeling on who would be the right selection. But we do that in our local offices all over the country for lawyers who call and ask. It's interesting that this business, and we have grown from zero to, even though we're a private company, over $100 million US dollars in revenue a year. This is a comeback repeat business. If people don't come back to you, if you're a mediator, the cost of getting that first case is very high. We spend a lot to get you the cases. If the people aren't coming back to you, the lawyers, selecting you on other cases, then you're doing something wrong in the room. And we try to find out what's going on because really about 2/3 of our calls are mediator specific. They're calling for Michael, they're calling for Jay. I want that person, I want her. But they also, more and more, are saying, I want her on that date. So, because they have prearranged the second week in November, they can do it. Well, if the person they want is not available...
That happens so often, by the way. It's like you get this in a big case. You got lots of people involved, and you look at your calendar. We can do a mediation when? And second week of November, Wednesday or Thursday.
Right. And so that's good for us because if that person is not available, that permits us to suggest other people and move it to somebody else. Because let me tell you, the good people